Hi, I'm Callie Edwards, and welcome to WGCHS On the Air. On today's broadcast, the GCHS cheerleading squad will be proving why cheering is considered to be a sport. We'll also have a report on diabetes in honor of Diabetes Awareness Month. Plus, students will voice their concerns about taking the ACT test. But first, Aaron Cooper has the second segment in our series on the history of Giles County.
As we dig deeper into Giles County's rich history, we find ourselves traveling along the path where the infamous Trail of Tears crossed through Pulaski. In 1830, the U.S. Congress passed the Indian Removal Act, which relocated over 100,000 Native American Indians from their ancestral homes in the southeastern United States to a reservation more than 1,000 miles away in the territory of what is now known as Oklahoma. Approximately 4,000 Indians lost their lives on the journey, which is referred to nowadays as the Trail of Tears. Two Trail of Tears routes known as Bells and Benches passed through Giles County and crossed here in Pulaski. To find out information on what local monuments and memorials honoring the Trail of Tears can be found in Pulaski, we visited the Giles County Tourism Foundation Center to talk to Tourism Director Joyce Woodard.
Okay, we have the Interpretive Center, which we are in the process of developing. We have the statue of the Native American family. We have the map drawn out in front of the Interpretive Center, and we have benches with the trail, and we have the markers telling about the story of the walk through Giles County. This year we just had our 8th annual Bells and Bench ride and walk, and we walk over to the overlook, and they do a kind of a drum ceremony and just honor the Indians that passed through here that many years ago.
For more information on the Trail of Tears and the Trail of Tears Memorial here in Pulaski, please visit gilescountytourism.com. I'm Aaron Cooper reporting for WGCHS.
And now, Aaron has a report on how to prepare for the ACT test.
What is your dream college? UT Knoxville, Belmont, Vanderbilt? One factor deciding the fate of your application to your dream college is your ACT score. After the plan test was given, we went to sophomores asking what their main concerns were regarding the actual ACT. Then we sought solutions to these problems from students who are well acquainted with this rigorous test.
Well, the plan test really made me worry about the time limit of each section.
I didn't have enough time. I didn't get done with most of them.
We didn't have enough time on the test. Like the reading part, those things was too long for us to be reading. And then we didn't have enough time to read it. So, all we had to do was bubble in. So most of them are probably wrong. Then on the English thing, we really didn't have enough time.
Pace yourself. If you can't pace yourself during the ACT, you're going to run out of time.
I feel like the time limit is really hard, but I do think they give you just enough time. If you manage your time well and you don't slack off, like you just keep working and working and working until you're done, then you will get done in time.
Don't get nervous, because sometimes when you get nervous, you'll get frustrated and you'll lose time on that. Just always remember that you can take it again, and that's not your only shot at that one test.
Probably the most that I struggled with would be the math part of it.
I feel that the math for me was the hardest, but after taking pre-cal, I feel that really helped me. For underclassmen, if you can fit it in your schedule at all possible, I really encourage you to do that.
The best tip I can give for math is to just a couple of weeks beforehand start brushing up on the things that you've learned before in some of your earlier math classes, and to maybe go to your math teacher and ask them to give you some pointers on things you may not have learned yet. I think the number one tip is to just not freak out. Like, some of the things you'll turn to and you'll look at and they'll be scary, like the science portion.
Science? Some of the stuff on there I have never known in my life.
I felt the science was the most difficult subject, with the graphs that you have to analyze and then have to go to the questions. but also found the math very difficult just because there's so many problems.
We also got helpful information from a teacher who is known for helping students prepare for the ACT, Ms. Amy Harwell.
The thing about the ACT is it's a test that measures what you learned in high school. So they can't make it harder, but they can make it more time constrained. So the best tip that I could give you is by taking the test multiple times. And you can do this by paying to take the test, but you can also do it at home. If you get an ACT prep book and you sit down and you actually set the parameters, you have a timer there, and you go through the test, then it'll give you more confidence when you actually take the test in the real test situation, because you'll be able to time yourself and you'll know about how long it takes to answer each problem. And never leave anything blank. I saw a lot of the sophomores have blanks on their test at the end. When the proctor calls 5 minutes, what you need to do is you need to go ahead and answer 2 or 3 more questions, and then when in doubt, see it out always. Pick one of those interior letters, pick a B or a C, and then just pick it. Every time you guess, pick that one letter. That way, when you stay with it, you're going to get at least 25% of those right. So good luck.
For WGCHS on the Air, I'm Erin Cooper.
Thanks, Aaron. Now we'll head to Whit Laxton, who has our piece on Diabetes Awareness Month.
Research shows that every 17 seconds, someone is diagnosed with diabetes. And with nearly 26 million diabetic children and adults living in America today, it's obvious that the disease is taking a devastating toll on our country. November is American Diabetes Awareness Month, and to give us a better understanding of what it's like living with diabetes, we talked to a few diabetic students here at GCHS, as well as our school nurse, Nurse Hatfield.
There's 2 types of diabetes, type 1 and type 2. Type 1 is called insulin-dependent diabetes, where you have to take insulin shots because your pancreas is not producing the insulin that it needs to bring the glucose down in your body. So you're going to need insulin shots. Type 2 is called adult onset diabetes, where typically you can just control it with diet, a better diet, or you may have to take oral medication. Sometimes though you still may need some insulin just to help your pancreas get a boost.
I have type 1 diabetes, and I've had it since the 3rd grade was when they caught it, but I was born with it. But it was genetics, it was in my family, and then they found I had it in 3rd grade.
I have type 1 diabetes, and I was diagnosed when I was 9.
I got type 1 diabetes when I was a freshman in high school. I was 14 years old, now I'm 17. And it's changed my life, a lot, because I have to keep up with carbs. And I used to take 5 shots a day, but now I have an insulin pump. So,
the ones that do receive insulin, we have to count carbs, which means if they eat breakfast at school and lunch, then they need to come in with me. We go over what they ate. We count the carbs because you get so much insulin for so many carbs that you eat. So that's where I assist them in figuring out how much insulin they need.
Well, usually a regular person gets up in the morning and brushes their teeth and changes their clothes and everything, but I have to get up and take a shot of insulin, and I have to check my blood sugar before I eat anything in the morning.
I'll have to watch what I eat. I have to watch how much sugar I eat. I have to drink a little bit more water and just more or less watch what I eat and do more exercising.
This is called a glucometer. This is what they stick their finger with, and this is the strip that you put in the glucometer to measure the blood, and it just gives you your sugar reading right there.
And what do you think is a misconception about diabetes?
Well, a lot of people think you can get diabetes just from eating too much sugar, but you can't do that.
Some people say like it runs generation to generation, but that's not true. It can skip generation. Like my mom's dad had it or whatever, and it was supposed to go to my mama, but it skipped her and went to me, so it skips generations instead of going from generation to generation.
Diabetes is treated insulin and diet management, and it can be prevented diet management and exercise.
This November, the American Diabetes Association is asking the public to take a pledge and raise a hand to stop diabetes. Individuals can take this pledge by finding the American Diabetes Association on Facebook. All you have to do is like their page and then make your pledge. So let's all join the movement to stop diabetes. I'm Whit Laxon reporting for WGCHS.
Thanks, Whit. Finally today, Morgan Hoover takes us inside the world of cheerleading.
Even though many people don't consider cheerleaders to be athletes, you might be surprised to learn that cheering requires just as much stamina as other physical and rigorous sports.
Well, a lot of work goes into cheerleading. We have practice 3 times a week during the summer on Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 7 to 9 all summer long. Then we have a week-long camp every summer. And then we practice every day after school, or not every day after school, but 2 days a week after school for 2 hours. And then we have all the games and all that kind of stuff that we prepare for. So it's a lot more work than a lot of people give us credit for.
Like, the average person can't just go and do like a backflip. You gotta like practice and train and then stunting. You can't just go and pick someone up. You gotta learn how to do it, the proper technique and all that stuff. So, yeah.
When we stunt, we have 2 bases and they face each other. And we have a back spot and she stands right here. The flyer is in the middle. She puts both hands, or each hand on our shoulders. The back spot grabs her hips, makes her jump. She gets in our hands and we build her right here. And then she does different things and we can press to different levels and that kind of stuff. So that's stunning. Well, we have different terms of jumping. There's a toe touch, there's a herky, and there's a pike. And each one of those look different. Toe touches, both feet go out. Herkies, they go to the side. And in a pike, they go to the front. My favorite thing about cheering, for one, is the people. Like, I love people and I love getting involved with people, and I'm loud, obviously. And I like to talk, obviously. So all of that, just kind of every part of it pretty much. Like, I like to stunt and I like to talk.
My favorite thing about cheering is probably just getting out there and just like tumbling and just like show what you can do. I don't know how to explain it, but like just being out in front of people dancing and whatnot. I like that.
Our cheerleading squad here at GCHS not only supports our school's football and basketball teams, but they are also a major support to many Giles County events.
I'm very proud of our cheerleaders here at Giles County High School because we do support lots of community events. We work locally with local schools, the Pulaski Elementary School during their Cub Run, which is a fundraiser for their school. We also work during the hoop shoot at the Southside Elementary, which is another fundraiser. We helped the local baseball teams here when they supported when they sponsored the state tournament back in the summer. We worked the gate for those folks. We do lots of things. We've worked at the Santa train. I just think it's really important for our cheerleaders to be out. They represent our school. They do it in a great way, on and off the field, on and off the court, and I'm real proud of the way they support the community here in Pulaski. It's a big undertaking for 16 girls to come together and have the time in their schedules, their academics, as well as performing at the games. It's lots of expectation for them. I would very much like for us to be able to compete in some sort of dance competition. I've got a couple of offers on the table right now from other schools that are sponsoring dance and cheer competitions to be something we could go to. But right now we just need to get through football, and we need to make it to the playoffs, and then we'll start basketball season. That's a big expectation with 20 games.
Cheering requires strength, flexibility, and endurance, which are qualities that all of our GCHS cheerleaders possess. As the sport gains more attention, we hope that you'll recognize how much time, talent, and hard work go into cheering. Reporting for WGCHS, I'm Morgan Hoover.
Thanks, Morgan. And that concludes our program for today. From all of us at WGCHS, I'm Callie Edwards, wishing you a happy Thanksgiving.